how am I going to build a business? I'm going to get shredded and go on Instagram and be an Insta model influencer.
The classic Fit Pro process. If you get, I always say, if you just get lean once and then take 100 photos and then just schedule them out on Instagram, and then you can just be fat for the rest of your life, but no one has to know. So there we go.
No, pretty much. And that was literally my super calculated strategy. So I competed as a bodybuilder for 2 or 3 years, and I did like 30, 40 photo shoots just to get this bank of images. And actually in 2015, it was reasonably easy on Instagram. All you needed was a 6-pack. And, I got up to like 21,000 followers or whatever.
But I mean, I think in fairness, you had more than a 6-pack. You're absolutely huge. Like, especially in those photos, it was like, that is kind of bodybuilder big. So
yeah, I was, so I did strongman during university. I bulked to 142 kilos. I literally pushed myself to borderline diabetes. So people are like, how did you get so big? And it's like, well, I spent 3 years systematically eating 6,000 calories a day tracked. And I got to morbidly obese, BMI of 42. And I was like, yeah, I gained a load of muscle. I trained 4 times a week, compound lifts, 2 hours each time, 8 Haribo during my session, and got stacked. And then when I dieted, surprise, surprise, I had a shitload of muscle. And it looked pretty good and it worked. And you know what? Like, I competed at some bodybuilding shows and I won, I think, one of them. But it wasn't my goal. My goal was to have the photos, to gain authority. And winning one show, no one in the public knows what WBFF, UK BFF, whoever else, they don't give a shit. They don't even know first, second, third, fourth, fifth. They know you're stacked. They know you're on stage. You know you're wearing tiny pants. You know what you're doing.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
So I thought it was literally it. So it was a phase. It was interesting. I got the t-shirt, and ironically now you look at any of my marketing and social media and I don't use any of it. None of it whatsoever.
This is the funny thing about, I suppose, like over time, it looks like your niche has kind of refined itself as well. Yeah. But this is the mismatch that you mentioned between like what personal trainers and coaches think matters, like, what specific federation they did or what their wilks is and all this kind of stuff. Like, if you're coaching powerlifting, then fine, like you've got a very aware market. But otherwise, like most people are just like, oh, that guy's got abs. He kind of knows what he's doing, or at least talks credibly about stuff. And I posted the other day about clients don't care about your like level 23 kettlebell certification and your like postnatal nutrition counseling accreditation and stuff. It's like, can this client be convinced that you can help them go from A to B? And at the end of the day, it's a much more human trust and credibility and authority thing. And I think it's great that the market is kind of coming full circle to that, because I think maybe 10 or 5 years ago, it was going deep into the like aggressive, semi-sleazy funnel marketing with like the old school video sales letters and stuff. And it seems like now, like as the markets are becoming a bit more clued up to that stuff and not as responsive to that kind of thing, it's coming back round to just like, do I trust this person? And can I just get on the phone with them and just talk through my my problems with them?
Yeah, and even coaching is more about that and talking to another human than it is about nutrition or exercise or how many qualifications or papers you read. Like, most clients don't give a shit. And if you start quoting papers to clients, you're literally in the wrong job. They don't care.
Yeah. The quoting papers and getting really involved in like the metrics and the numbers and like, oh, well, your exponential moving average for this has actually gone up. And it's like, unless your niche is also kind of super nerds, then people are more interested in like, can this person help me stick to my program and navigate the challenges of being a normal person? So the people that you work with, then they are entrepreneurs. Can you talk to us about like how your coaching strategies adapted to them as a population?
Yeah, so they are a very diverse group in terms of they have lots of different lifestyles, lots of different starting points, from, people who already train 5 times a week to people who haven't been in the gym for 40 years. What they have in common is that they're very driven, switched on. They've got successful businesses. So you can kind of distill from that a common denominator, as it were. And I mean, essentially, it's the core of it is weekly calls. The weekly calls track data, make changes, the minimum possible effective dose to start seeing progress. And I do find a lot of coaches try and overcomplicate the process to kind of show or prove themselves, prove value. And they're like throwing in all this crazy stuff. And I'm literally like, in the first week, I was like, right, how about one less beer and maybe don't have a pizza on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, maybe just drop a pizza. And they're like, okay, I can do that. And then they drop a pound or half a kilo. And then next week we're like, let's do that again. Let's see how it goes. Are you finding it hard? No, not at all. Not in the slightest. Great. Awesome. Let's do that again. And like, I try and keep it as simple as possible. Because I've been in the industry so long, because I have a shitload of science behind me, I don't feel the need to flop it out. I'm very happy. Just, I know what works. We can do it. If I need science, I can bring it out. But most of the time I don't.
Well, this is the benefit of knowing that you don't need to kind of flex at every opportunity, and you can say, well, at the end of the day, we don't need false precision with coaching. Like if something is working at this level of precision of one less beer per week, then that's fine. It ain't broken. We don't no need to fix it. And so I think that's a really good point, that just because coaches and PTs nerd out on this stuff doesn't mean that the client cares, and actually it's more of a headache for them. And if you're able to track with the minimum level of precision, then we don't need to increase the precision until things break, and then you can step it up a level.
So I don't want to give the false impression that I'm like a totally lazy coach. Like I do use tracking with clients, because the other thing about entrepreneurs is they want to get results and they want to get them like quickly. So, often when we start, the changes are minimal, but I start gathering data straight away, because ultimately when we plateau 3 or 4 weeks in, I want to have the data to be able to say, right, this is what we need to change. Let's get straight back on track, maintain the momentum, and crush your goals as quickly as possible, because that's what people want. So I do go for quite an aggressive approach, because it works with what the clients want, but then I bring them into land at the end. So I say, okay, we're going to go in hard, we're going to reach the goal, and then this is how we're going to do maintenance, and we're going to work together through maintenance as well. And then once you're maintained and we've removed the crutches, the artifacts of dieting, then I'll set you free and you're fine, and I can chase you up in a year's time, and you're still in shape.
Well, this is a very kind of honest model of coaching as well, where it's like the goal of this process is for you to graduate from the need to have a coach every week, and then we can just, as you said, like spread out the check-ins until they're set free.
Exactly. I mean, I don't want people, like, this isn't a return business model. I don't want people coming back to me when they regain weight. This is a referral model. I want to get you shredded.